Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. It's currently Saturday at 7 o'clock, and I really did expect a content preview to be in the news, but it's not, because I was going to hold off and talk about this notice right here to go alongside the preview, but it looks like we're going to wait another day or so. As a heads up, tomorrow morning being November 3rd, or maybe it's already November 3rd for you, daylight savings time kicks in. I don't know every country that recognizes daylight savings, but here in America, we certainly do. So, starting on November 3rd, all of the content previews and live stream starts and all that, they're going to be an hour earlier than what I normally do. So, normally, at 7 o'clock, content previews come out and unit drops come out. Now it's going to be 6 p.m. my time. So whatever that translates to you, just make it an hour earlier. If you do or do not, just understand that everything for me is going to come out an hour earlier. So therefore, everything that you're going to see from me is an hour earlier. And now with that out of the way, I guess we'll talk about this notice. Changes to the Masked Hero, the Time Traveler's skill description. So this came out yesterday, and I saw it. Definitely saw it. And I was again going to wait until we get the content preview to talk about this, but we're just going to do it now anyways. So some changes will be made to the description for the Masked Hero, the Time Traveler. This is the OG Space Masked Hero that we got for the half anniversary back in 2022. There will be no changes to the skill properties as a result of the description change. So the skill itself has not changed. You still rewind, you still get that extra turn to do whatever you want, but they've changed the wording around it. So previously, it said make another move, turn stays the same, blue gauge increased by 20%, one per battle. Now it says that, and then it has an additional wording of cannot be used after another character's second move skill has been activated. This is very, very important because right now there is no one that gives you a second move, quote unquote, like the hero. And some people will be like, hey, Joker, isn't that referring to the multi-use skill that Diablo has? Like, can you not use that? Why is my game working so slowly right now? Hold on. Okay, reset the game. Back on topic. Some people will try and say that it's going to prevent us from using Diablo's skill because this is the you can use an unlimited number of times excluding the skill kind of thing. So right now the wording cannot be used after another character's second move skill. This could be construed as a second turn skill or a second move skill, but it's not. So if we use Elmesia to reset this back down to 0 cost, and then we use the rewind, or we use the multi-use skill. Okay, well that allows us to use a bunch of skills now, but however, the hero is still not grayed out. Like, we can still use her on this turn. There's nothing preventing us from doing that. So that's not the case. There's nothing really else that would impact the hero and her ability to use the rewind skill, as we see right here, and give us an extra turn of blues. Okay, sure, whatever. Nothing currently in game affects it, which means that it can only be changed to prep for the future. And we know that in the future, whether it be tomorrow or Monday night, we're going to get a new masked hero based on the recruit preview fight that we got from the Banquet of Tempest. Like, that is called a recruit preview. There's not really any better way to claim that is the character coming. So while this masked hero, in her description and what she does in the fight, doesn't rewind anything, very clearly during her animation, she has the whole clock motif going on behind her. So the only thing that we can really discuss at this point is that this new masked hero will have some kind of ability, probably a new version of the rewind, that is going to mess with the original hero's rewind skill. And my thought is that cannot be used after another character's second move skill has been activated. I'm thinking that this is to prevent you from using a double rewind in the same turn. So let's say the new hero comes out and you use the rewind on turn 2. Okay, well then turn 2.5 kicks in. This is now going to prevent you from using another rewind and get like a turn 2.75 out of it. So that is, I think, what they're trying to avoid, is you getting 2 free turns within that same original turn. I think, again, that you can still use this masked hero with the other masked hero on different turns. So, like, you could rewind turn 2, get turn 2.5, and then go turn 3, and then you could use this masked hero and go turn 3, turn 3.5, and turn 4. I just, based on this wording, I don't think you can rewind back to back in the same turn. I think there has to be a gap in between that for this to activate. So, what does that mean for the future of this masked hero? Well, it probably means she's going to be pretty good. She'll be the second character ever to have a rewind ability if this comes to pass, which takes up 1 skill. And we can't really glean much anything else out of her kit in battle. So, now let's begin extra speculation on what it could do. Because the Hero's Rewind, the current Hero's Rewind, does have a secondary effect attached to it. It gives you extra protection gauge for every orb, 20%, which can help you get another protector in the same turn, because this will stack alongside the Diablo green buff, because that's affecting all gauges. They are clearly separated out, buffing everything and buffing one specific thing. So if you use Rewind in Diablo, you're actually getting 70% protection gauge from green orbs in that turn. So, we don't really need... I mean, we can use more protection gauge. I think it'd be quite boring to give the new hero the same old hero skill. Remember, this hero came out 2.5 years ago. Like, she's really old. And the fact that she's still usable, and the fact that we're still using her on the actual meta team, really says something to her total viability throughout the entirety of this game's lifespan. So by giving another unit rewind, what else can the rewind skill accomplish in the terms of how the Divine General team runs? Well, we know this is a stacking team. It wants to use a literal butt-ton of skills every single turn, which is why they gave us 1 friggin' orb changer. We'll talk about Gazel later. But you can only use the rewind once, so it's not like they can put some massive, super huge stacking buff on it, because you can't rewind every single turn, unless they do something real fucky, right? We can't discard that theory. We can heavily ignore it, because it's 99% not going to happen. They're not going to let you use rewind every single turn. That'd be crazy. Also, fights would be so long. So we can eliminate having some kind of stacking buff, unless it's a huge, like, percentage stack when you use the rewind. Like, oh, you've used the rewind, gain an extra turn, also permanently gain 100% magic attack or something, or 50% magic attack. Like, you could do that. You're only going to get it once, which is why it's going to be a lot higher than, say, Raphael's 10% stacks right here. So it would actually make it worthwhile to use the rewind, because you're actually going to benefit from it. But what else could they do on it? They could put some kind of temporary damage buff on it. Like, they want you to nuke on turn 8 and use rewind, so you get another turn of Raphael being super jacked up with synergy power and space attack and weakness strike. Like, that's something else they could potentially do. Or they could build upon the new hero's second skill, which we don't know what that is. It could be crit, it could be pierce. We know that Almizia seals the enemy's resistance to everything, so we have synergy from Diablo. The crits and the crit resistance down from this current mass hero really impacts our damage. And pierce we don't have on this team as of yet. Could we fit it? Well, I mean, yeah, sure we could. We can do anything with Almizia. But is it realistic? Again, I don't know. We just have to kind of assume and take for granted the things that we do have available in this team. Right now we have Overlord Shizu with weakness strike and alt resistance down. I don't think any of those are going to be attached to a rewind skill. But we are 99.9% getting a rewind skill or some kind of skill that is reason to put this modifier into the skill description. Cannot be used after another character's second move skill has been activated. Second move skill. I don't... Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what this new Master Hero is going to hold out for us. As far as her other buff, like, it could be crit. If they make her just a power crept version of her original self, would I be happy with that? Yeah, it'd be kind of boring. But it would be a lot of power because this hero came out at a time where we were not even doing 1 million damage, much less 140 million damage. So we would have to get a really jacked up buff to make this hero actually worth it. Because this is guaranteed crits, and if it's skill fused, you can get up to 60% resistance down, crit resistance down, and it does add a lot of power. But we're looking at 90-point buffs now on these teams. So what could make this crit skill, if it is a crit skill, a 90-point worthy? Guaranteed crits for everyone, that's for sure. And then, what, 100% crit damage? Just make it like Diablo synergy buff? Like, you could. It'd be pretty boring, but it would certainly work, and it would negate a lot of other stages' resistances to crit, because a lot of them have like 70 or 80 or just 100% crit resistance, and if you put 100% crit damage on you, it kind of washes out. And you give them the rewind, and that's a very strong buff for a rewind unit that you could put on pretty much any team. Just like you can put the hero on almost any team at this point in the game. Almost, being the key word. But, that's what's happening. We're going to get a new hero. We're going to get a new rewind ability. It's just, what is that rewind ability going to accomplish? And what is that second skill gonna do? I don't know. You don't know. Do the devs know? Probably. They're really holding... I really thought we were gonna get a content preview tonight. Because Ranked Valor Cup ends tomorrow night? Right? Or does it end on Monday? Am I misremembering dates? Let's check Valor Cup really fast. No, yeah, Valor Cup ends in 23 hours. I wonder if I'm recording this and then the intern just forgot to press the content preview button. I wonder if there's anything on Twitter, actually. No, there's nothing on Twitter. So yeah, I thought that once Valor Cup ended, because this would end at 5:59 p.m. my time, the banner would drop at 6 p.m. I thought that was going to happen. So, we're going to wait another day. Technically, we are still a bit early. The banners came out on the 28th, Monday morning. So, we are still maybe a day early in assuming this. Generally, things go a week in between. So, maybe it wasn't actually realistic to assume that Sunday was going to be the day. But we're going to get it within this time frame. So, now either Monday or Tuesday. We know she's coming. What do you think her skill is going to be, now that we know that one of them is a rewind? What other effect do you think it's going to have? What do you think her other big-time skill is going to be? Do you think that running two heroes on the same team with two rewinds that you can do with, turn by turn, is that going to be something that you're interested in trying? Do you think that using the new hero skill is going to just completely lock us out of the skill overall because of the wording? Let me know your thoughts, but that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.